Well, blimey, that seemed a bit sketchy. They're actually cutting the whole tree down. Maybe it's diseased. Anyway, hello everybody. Wow, I didn't expect to see a tree felling this morning. I am actually just arrived at work, but I wanted to quickly update you on the Bovaer Freedom of Information request. Now, just in case you don't know, I did on the 3rd of September, I sent a Freedom of Information request to the, what are they called? Hold on, bear with. The Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute based in Belfast. It's a government-based organisation, whatever that is. It just is, which means an FOI will work on them. It doesn't work on private companies because they're not obligated to reply. Because I did one with Arla as well, and they probably just laughed. So on the 3rd of September, I asked these questions, just in case you don't know. A lot of you will know, though, hopefully, because of the, I did a vlog on it. Dear Sir, Madam, please find this email an official Freedom of Information request with regard to the newly formed UK Dairy Carbon Network. I have the following questions. 1. Is Bovaer, the methane reducing feed supplement, going to be used as part of the initiative? It will be on the screen. If the answer is yes to question 1, name the farms involved in the initiative. 3, again, if yes to question 1, who do these farms supply their milk to? We don't want that milk. If you're trying to avoid Bovaer, you may not be, you may not care, but that's up to you. I look forward to hearing from you within the usual FOI 20-day requirement. It's 20 working days, actually. I didn't really realise that at the time, but they did reply, and I will put it up there. Just got to find it. So it's up there now. Thank you once again for your request for information about it, because they do send an email saying we've received it and we will deal with it. It might cost you, etc. They sent that out sort of a couple of days after I sent that, so they sort of acknowledge receipt of it, which is great. They kind of follow the procedure. And then they actually replied on the 26th of September, which was within the 20 work. I think it was the 1st of October was the deadline for 20 working days from the date that I'd sent. And then you'll see it on the screen, their response. Thank you once again for your request for information about the use of Bovaer in the UK Dairy Carbon Network Initiative. Or AFBI does not hold the information you have requested, as the use of Bovaer on any specific farm as part of the initiative has yet to be fully determined. Participating farmers will be offered it as a mitigation strategy. Put my teeth back in, but it will be up to farmers whether they wish to use it or not. So essentially they're saying, yes, Bovaer is available to use as a mitigation strategy. I can't say that word. Given that we are unable to identify specific farms or their customers, I wasn't asking about customers. You may wish to consider that this information is in any case likely to be accepted under Regulation 13 of the above regulations as containing the personal data of individuals other than yourself. Well, I wasn't asking about customers. I was asking who are they selling it to in... Maybe that was me being too vague in terms of suppliers, like Arla buying the milk, another company. Who are they selling their milk to in terms of companies? Yeah, I can see why they thought that's what I meant. What I wanted to know is who's processing the milk to then sell it on to the public, basically. Your request is therefore refused under Regulation 12/4/A. Information not held when a request is received. If you are unhappy with the manner in which your request for information has been handled, or the decision to release withhold information, you have the right to request a formal internal review by the Institute. And we will be getting onto that in a minute. This review will be undertaken by members of the AFBI staff who are not involved in the original case and will provide a fair and thorough assessment of procedures and decisions taken. So hopefully my next request will be sort of looked at in the same way, because I've kind of improved the questions a little bit. But we'll get onto that in a minute. A review request must be made in writing either to the address above or via email to the AFBI FOI officer. Wow, that's a lot of letters. And should be made within 2 months of the date of this letter. Please note that we are not obliged to accept a request received outside this time frame. We shall endeavour to complete the review and respond to you within 20 working days of receipt or advise you of the anticipated target date. And if after such an internal review you are still unhappy with the response, you have the right to appeal to the Information Commissioner, and it gives the address, etc. Please remember to quote the reference number above in any future communications. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I mean, the response on the last vlog regarding this, a little picture of the thumbnail will come up there. If you haven't watched that, go and watch that. And then there's the original vlog where we sort of started this process is there. Go and watch that if you haven't watched that. It's just interesting because at what point it raises a lot of questions, really, that I didn't think of at the time. So it's a kind of a snowballing event, maybe. Someone did leave a really good comment saying try and make the questions more direct, etc. And I thought that's actually a really good idea. I wish I'd thought about that. I mean, they were kind of as direct as I could make them. And so I sort of thought I'll work on the response. So I have done that, and I'm going to put the response up in a minute. This is the response to the response. So let's have a look at it now. So with this response, I have kind of learnt a little bit and just using a little bit more officious language. I am going to put it up on the screen. There's a lot more to it than my first one. So screenshots will be probably a bit more than one, but I'll put them up as I read it. So it's a draft form. I actually haven't sent it yet. So I'm going to send it today after I've filmed this. Subject, a review request under Regulations 13 of the Environmental Information Regulations 2004, information on the use of Bovaer and other mitigation measures in the UK dairy carbon network. So review request. So hopefully this will work. Dear FOI officer, I am writing to formally request an internal review of your decision dated 26th of September 2025, and I give the reference again, in response to my original request for environmental information under the Environmental Information Regulations 2004, or EIR for short, regarding the use of Bovaer in the UK dairy carbon network, otherwise known as the initiative. It's all there. While your response confirms that Bovaer will form part of the initiative's mitigation strategies, it states that AFBI does not hold information on whether individual farmers will adopt it. This does not address my request, as it fails to provide details on the initiative structure, approved measures and related environmental impacts, information which appears to be held by AFBI as the lead organisation and which is necessary for public understanding of this DEFRA-funded environmental project. Under EIR Regulation 12/5/E, where part of a request relates to a material in the form of a public register, AFBI must make that information available unless it falls under an exception. I believe the initiative's documented strategies qualify as such. So I then think, right, okay, let's really just try and knuckle down and ask the questions clearly, directly, a little bit more, with a bit more thought. I mean, it's my first FOI, so it's a learning curve, To resolve this, please provide the following information held by AFBI in relation to the initiative. 1. A list of all products, feed additives or technologies, including Bovaer, that are approved or recommended for use by participating farmers as part of the initiative's greenhouse gas mitigation strategies. 2. Confirmation of whether milk produced by farms participating in the initiative will be sold commercially to the public, and if so, under what labelling or traceability requirements. 3. The names of the names of the companies or processes responsible for handling, collecting or processing milk from farms participating in the initiative. 4. Details of the provision of Bovaer to participating farmers, including whether it is supplied at no cost to them, subsidised or requires farmer payment, and the source of any such funding. 5. Confirmation of whether DSM-Firmenich, the manufacturer of Bovaer, is receiving any direct or indirect payments, grants or funding from AFBI, DEFRA or other sources in connection with the initiative. Your website states the project will support breeding strategies that help reduce methane output, while also working to optimise feed formulation so that animals make more efficient use of their diets. 6. Please provide an explanation of the specific breeding strategies supported under the initiative, including how they are expected to reduce methane output, e.g. genetic selection criteria, expected emission reductions and supporting evidence or studies held by AFBI. I mean, even I could think, that might be a tricky one to answer. 7. A list of all funding sources for the initiative, excluding DEFRA, including the amounts contributed by each, where held. 8. A list of all incentives, payments or support provided to farmers for participating in the initiative, e.g. financial reimbursements, technical assistance or carbon credits. 9. Confirmation of whether the results of the initiative, including data on emission reductions, adoption rates and economic and environmental impacts, will be made publicly available, and if so, how and when. I would be grateful if you could complete this internal review and provide the requested information within 20 working days as required under EIR Regulation 13. If any information is withheld, please specify the relevant exception and explain why the public interest favours withholding it. Just, it closes on a kind of polite, you've got to keep the personal out. You really have. There's no need for it in this sort of thing. I mean, that is a lot. Well, tell me what you think. Yeah. Hopefully that will garner some sort of response. To be fair to them, they've got an FOI officer. But, it's a public body. We have a right to know how Bovaer is being initiated. What's the background? Are the farmers expected to pay for it? Are they being offered it for free? If they're being offered it for free, they may well take it up. I think it's, is it 40 farms? I can't remember the initial amount. I did a screenshot, but I can't remember what it... where I first initially saw the blurb. So anyway, let's just think. Let's just send it. Should we just send it right now? Not live, but I do want this to go out this weekend. It's Friday, but this will go out in a couple of. I've just got to edit it, and then it'll probably go out on a Sunday, 17th, 18th, 19th, 2 days after I've sent it. But hey. Yeah, so it's currently a draft. You won't see that because I've got thingy on. Bear with. Alright, okay. I'll just get off the draft so I get in there. So that's it. I don't need the... It's blooming long. And then press send. I'm just going to press send. Oh, wow. The tree's gone. God. Can you see? Sent. Wow. Friday. Happy days. So what's the date today? Friday the... what is the date today? 17th. What's 20 working days? I'll just quickly check. So I've worked it out. The deadline for 20 working days from today is November the 14th, 2025. So there you go. And I don't doubt that they're going to respond before that date. Whether or not they give any or all of that information, it will be interesting, and it's just really interesting experiment. It does make you think, do you know what other government bodies could we request information about Bovaer? If any of you have any ideas, let me know, and we could maybe do an FOI somewhere else. Interruption from future me. This is actually the next day, but as you know, just saw, I sent the email yesterday. That was the 17th of October. They actually replied that very day to, like I said before, they acknowledged the receipt of the FOI detail. That was meant to be a review request, which is like saying I'm not happy with the response. Can you look into it further? They actually said, rather than do that, they're going to treat it like a whole new FOI, which I actually think is a better idea, because the questions are better. They're more direct as per the helpful hints from yourselves. And, you know, I mean, I'll put an attachment of their response just so you can sort of understand what I mean. So it says, Environmental Information Regulations 2004. Thank you for your request for the internal review of AFBI's decision in your earlier request for information, ref, etc. This request for a review was received on 17th of October 2025. Under Regulation 11 of the above legislation, an applicant may make representations to a public authority in relation to the applicant's request for environmental information. If it appears to the applicant that the authority has failed to comply with a requirement of these regulations in relation to the request. That's a bit like word salad to me. However, rather than identifying particular compliance issues, it appears to us that your email asked for information over and above what was specified in your earlier request, which is true. That is 100% true. I improved. It's a learning curve. I mean, I kind of wish that this was the first episode, but, you know, it can't be helped. I am therefore dealing with it as a new request for information under the terms of the above legislation. So it's basically saying, okay, we're drawing a line off from the last one. This is like a whole fresh FOI. It's improved questions. A lot of what we, you know, so I think it's a good thing, because then they can deal with each point. You know, we'll be able to see their response to that. And then they say the leaflet enclosed, blah, 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 tells you, you know, and we've seen that leaflet already. In some circumstances, a fee may be payable, but if that is the case, I will let you know the likely charges before proceeding, etc., etc. And they've said that before. So that's it. It's just a quick update that they're basically going to treat it as a whole brand new FOI, which is actually not a bad thing, because the questions are much more concise and direct, and obviously, hopefully, we'll get the information that we're really interested in. I am actually going to be doing other FOIs, so stay tuned for that. More vlogs on this coming. I'm getting a taste for it, so we want to know what's the relationship of what's going on with regards to Bovaer. Is it going to be widespread? We want to know the plans, so I am going to try and dig using the FOI tool. So thanks for watching. That's the update. Obviously, as soon as I get the official response with their answers to those questions that we saw earlier in this vlog, you'll be the first to know. So stay tuned and keep an eye, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. I can't even speak. It really helps the channel. I can't tell you how much it helps. It's a real boost. Lots of people did leave when I changed my name, which is fine. You know, they don't like it, etc. for some odd reason. I don't know. I am doing less cooking. It's kind of like I work. It's kind of hard to find the time. There's the odd cooking vlog comes out, but you know, it seems to me that a majority of you are more interested in Bovaer than anything else, and possibly other environmental issues under this climate hoax that we're living under. So, on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.